Recording in progress.
All right, we heard an echo, just doing a quick test. Okay. Evening, everyone. So this is a hybrid meeting being held in person at Village Hall and online via Zoom of the library board. The link to the Zoom meeting is on the top of the agenda. It is 6 o'clock on the dot, so I'm calling the meeting to order. We do have a quorum and the agenda was properly posted. So with that, this is the public's opportunity to speak. I am not seeing anyone on Zoom, nor do I see anyone in the room, so we'll move forward. Okay, before we get too much further, I do want to make one quick adjustment, if it's okay with you all. Monica has requested to go first due to some family schedule changes that happened at the very last minute, and she has to run in a little bit here. So I propose we shift to the program report first, and then we'll continue back down in there. So any concerns? I'm seeing lots of head nods, so we're going to do that. So Monica, I will turn it over to you for the programming report.
Thank you guys for being so flexible. I did go ahead and type it out, so I'll hopefully expedite everything and be a little bit more clear. So I want to start with talking about our Music in the Grove. That series has been fantastic. Our first performance scheduled in June was Tom Pease. For his performance, we had about 75 individuals in attendance. It was great. All the families came up afterwards on numerous occasions and said, "This was so much fun. Thank you. Are you doing any more?" I said, "Yes, of course." So of course, we just finished our July presentation, which was David Landau. We had well over 100 individuals in attendance. The kids were so much fun to watch them participate, to engage, to interact with David. And just a bit of a plug, he is a Cottage Grove resident, in case you were unaware, so really cool to support our local community members who are famous. Then we had a lot of the families that were at the first presentation attended the second presentation, and even cooler for the second presentation, they brought neighbors, friends, picnic meals. They truly made it an evening event. And kids were running around, they were participating, coming and going, ebbing and flowing, all the things. So a great way for the library to continue to support those early literacy elements from all ages. So that was fantastic. The story walk, I'm so sorry, I've had to postpone it 1 week. I purchased a book for July that had too many panels, and I cannot edit it down without it being in conflict with the storyline. So I'm having to pivot and should have a new one up this Friday. Wednesday Movers and Makers programs has been really, really difficult this summer with the current weather advisories, where these presentations or programs, are at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. That's like peak heat. So we have canceled 2 of them. Again, I really hate that. We've done such a great job all year of not canceling unless absolutely necessary. When cancellations have been made, they have been done on a social media basis and notifying in that manner. We have talked with Maddie specifically at Glen Grove for these programs, but unfortunately because of these cancellations, we are having a bit of a gap in this collaboration for that. On one of the program days that I did actually go to Glen Grove in an effort to wait for residents that wanted to walk over, no one attended. Again, I get it, it's really, really hot. But with that, I'm trying to streamline my communication with Maddie to notify her of cancellations. Again, just making sure that no one is left out of any notifications. So trying to cross those T's and dot those I's. A big plug for July's Farming in Cottage Grove presentation that's scheduled here for the end of July. That is in collaboration with the Cottage Grove Area Historical Society. There has been a lot of comments, a lot of traffic on those posts. I would encourage you all to continue to share them accordingly. I do want to ask if any board members in particular have a connection to any local area farmers. I would love to have the presentation not just be a digital information, but to even have more of a Q&A conversation. Like, hey, my family's been farming here for XYZ years. Here are the crops that we produce. is. Here's how that's changed over time and how that correlates to the actual physical presentation. So that's the expectation and the desire to come from that. So thank you if you have any help.
I know you mentioned this to me, but I want to make sure it's out there as well. You have been connected with a few farms already and have had conversations, so this is not the first time we're asking about this, trying to get connected. It's more so to broaden the scope of farmers that are there.
Yes, the goal is to diversify and provide as much information as possible. It was mentioned, and I've noticed a few times as I've been driving down Vallis Road, the Hammond Farm has the beautiful sign there, and I do not have any personal connections there. So I would love, if anyone knows how I can reach out to that family, that would be my dream farm family, in addition to those that I've already been in communication with. Scars and Puffs are the two that come first to mind with that. And the Historical Society has helped to try and give me some phone numbers too. So this is very much a beautiful conjunction. They're communicating with me, so very pleased with how this is for our inaugural kind of programming. Looking ahead to fall programming, I would like to create an all-community read for tweens. We've never done this. Our tween programming right now has been fantastic. I just want to keep that momentum going. This does allow us to diversify the type of programming that we are offering to that age group by having a tween-specific all-community read. One book in particular that I'm interested in is actually, again, a Cottage Grove local author who writes YA books. And I just happened to meet this person. And so I really would love to do that. And she offered to help me to obtain and purchase those 25 books. I think should be an appropriate number for that. And she graciously offered to host an author talk as a result of that. We do have room in the budget for this. And again, it's hitting all of those points for our mission and that target audience that we've been working towards obtaining. So I would like to keep that on our radar to move forward with that. And also moving and looking towards fall, we do have some room in the budget, and we have talked about continuing our technology conversation with a specific presentation, kind of shifting a little bit more towards AI and what that can provide. That allows us to continue to hit those topics around technology. We've talked about it school-wise, youth-wise, AI component. So this is just, again, continuing that series that we've been discussing. If anyone has any connections, otherwise I'm going to start digging through UW's site. Luckily, we have a board member who might know. Hint, hint, with some UW connections. For Lego Club next week, I am going to be out of town, but JP has graciously offered to oversee and run the program for me. So I appreciate that. Again, this is a monthly reoccurring program that does have a really great attendance of children as well as the families and the grown-ups that attend. So that's been great as well. I do want to give a huge shout out to board member Allison Weber and our local Cottage Grove Culvers for graciously donating Scoopy tokens for this week's ice cream themed programs. So that's been a really fun addition to be able to add to our programs this week. August is going to be great with our bubble foam celebration scheduled for Wednesday, August 5th at 3 p.m. That's part of our regular Movers and Makers programming. And we will be wrapping up our Music in the Grove series with a performance on Thursday, August 20th with Angela Puerta at 6 o'clock in Dublin Park. So that'll be the culmination for our contribution for that. And we will be hosting a table at Wednesday, August 19th's Community Night Out. The goal is to have some make and take crafts that are ready and there for all the visitors to our table. And we do have the funds to be able to provide those. And I've already had a few community members offer to help me to kind of like compile them together. So I love that element too. And then the crafts will actually be age appropriate for 1+. And then Lastly, the library is thrilled to host a craft booth at the 90s Rocking in the Grove Music Night at Bakken Park on Thursday, August 27th, keeping with our rock theme, as well as continuing to tie back with different community groups that we've participated with. We will be painting rocks, which can then be added to Taylor Prairie's rock snake. So that'll be kind of a fun culmination, and it's just a fabulous pun on 90s rock, because why not? So I think those are the bulk of the elements that I was talking about that we've been discussing. Anything that I've left out or questions moving forward?
So just because of timing, I do want to make sure we have the space to have a discussion regarding the tween all community read in there. So as Monica said during her program and presentation, is this something that would be worthwhile for us to kind of explore and kind of figure out the details and bring it back for a future agenda item to officially make it happen in there?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry. I think it's a great idea. I had no idea there was a Cottage Grove YA author. Do you have any thoughts on like the time of the year? You try to get it in the, like happen in the fall? Because we have the winter one for
I'm
the
thinking
adults.
late fall if we do it in the fall.
Right.
Fall tends to be busy, which is why we originally shifted for the all community read to be more of a winter programming. So if we could almost hit, I'm thinking super late October or even November might be nice. Again, with tweens, their attendance seems to be rather, it's very consistent at this point. So our numbers, we're receiving those consistent numbers for that, the attendance, the families that are coming for that. And this allows me a few extra months to collaborate with the middle school and GRS specifically, because those are the age groups that really this would most appeal to. So I would love a little bit of extra time just to verify and maybe kind of advertise it a little bit there. But again, I think 25 books is appropriate. It is a relatively small paperback, so the cost of the book itself is not overly high. There are reviews that are available on Goodreads as well as on Amazon. So that way we can verify that it truly is a book of interest. And like I said, just to have that Cottage Grove element, I feel as if this is just too good to pass up. And so I think that would be really kind of fun to have that and to kind of start transitioning the love and celebration of reading and books and how that connection with an actual author and what that could spur or instill or ignite in some of these tweens, especially for reluctant readers. For this book specifically, it is a fantasy-based story. It does have a mystery component to it as well. The two main characters, I believe, please don't correct, I think it's like 10 or 11 and 13. So again, very much that GRS, GDS target audience.
Yes.
Okay, based on comments as well as lots of head nods, I feel like you have enough direction to move forward. So we'll figure out the details and then we'll bring it forward. The plan is probably for our next meeting in August.
Perfect.
So if we can start the conversation, get some details in there, some timelines, and then we can move forward from there.
Then with that, I will move forward and ask specifications on how to purchase and all of that and try and lock in a few dates that work with the author's schedule as well.
Okay, and then the last thing before you go, we talked about this last meeting, bringing forward here, one of the homework for the board was to think through all community read authors for us to reach out to for our winter programming. Allie, I do have yours up here that you emailed me, so I can read it off in there. But I do want to open up and see if you all have any ideas for the direction for Monica to connect with the Friends group on authors. Previously, we talked about Jennifer, I'm going to blank or butcher the name. I know, Megan, this was one of the authors you brought forward, so.
Chiavarelli?
Chiavarelli,
Chiavarelli.
right?
I don't
Yeah.
speak Italian.
I gotcha. Yes, she's
Yep.
a Madisonian. And she does more historical books. She was on our short list for last year as well.
Yep.
Chiavarelli? Chiavarini. Okay, I was like, it's something of those.
The only other Madison author that I'm aware of that actually has a book coming out in, I think it's early September, and it's actually someone that Maggie Ginsberg knows as well and recommended. The author is Anne Garvin. She writes, I guess you'd probably call it women's fiction. But she would be another one that,
Tell Two Friends.
yes.
The only other ones I thought, Annalise Ryan writes these really fun, kind of cozy, like cryptid mysteries. She's going to be at Lake City Books Friday. And she seems just like a delightful person. Like, I've seen her do other things. She seems really interested in connecting with communities. But yeah, that was my big kind of suggestion. I was really trying to find somebody not white, or, just kind of a more diverse option. But I think maybe we prioritize local for now. I don't know. Barry Kwan, I guess, would be the only other one. But I don't think they have a new book coming out.
Allie, would you like me to read your other suggestions, or?
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Okay. So the other oones that you mentioned in your email to me was A 40-Year Kiss by Nicholas Butler, Tailspin by John Armbruster, and Skylark by Paula McLean. But you also may note, she may be too popular on that one.
I also didn't know if we were trying to do like newer books or might be more up and coming authors. So,
Per my conversation when we were inquiring last year, just for a better understanding, as this program, the All Community Read, is very much funded by the Friends of the Library. There was an agreement when this originated that it was prioritizing Madison-based authors first and foremost. And there was no specification for new or publication date. I think the expectation is that it's there, that we would like something that's kind of contemporary, relevant timeline-wise, not so much storyline. And then making sure that it has mass appeal. So those were the three primary target items that were discussed for that conversation. But I think more than anything, it's just an excitement, something different, something new. We did also really take a close look when selecting on reviews, Goodreads, Amazon, Kirkus Review even, to make sure that the book is being supported again for more of a mass audience.
I feel like between last meeting, this meeting here, we had some few more thoughts that you probably have enough direction here to have that conversation with the friends. So I feel confident that you go ahead and have that conversation with Robin and all, and then keep us updated. And then again, this will be one of those future agenda items that we'll have coming back here to kind of finalize all the details and move forward in there.
It'll be my goal to hopefully have an update for both the tween and the all community here in August. I don't know if we're changing our date for August or if we're just what we're doing because that's on community night. So
Did I say August? I mean,
I'm just, yeah, so
sorry,
just a heads up.
September.
Okay, great. So for sure I will have it by September. Don't be surprised if you could just like an email update, just a, hey, we've reached out to so-and-so, waiting to kind of hear back. Typically last time when we created, we had like a 1, 2, 3 option as to who would respond for our interest. Sometimes it's easier depending on if they have an agent or not. So that's just kind of some of the specifics, excuse me. Good?
Great. Anything else for Monica as part of the programming report? No? All right. Thank you, Monica. Okay, shifting back up to the top, item number 4, discuss and consider minutes from the June 17th, 2026 Library Board meeting. Minutes are attached.
I move that we approve the library board minutes from June 17th.
I second.
All right, motion by Megan, second by Sarah. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And abstention? Motion carries. Perfect. We have no old business, so new business, 6A. Discuss preparation of the 2027 Library Board budget request. So I did write a memo that is attached to here. Long story short, because we do not have, again, an August Library Board meeting, because we canceled that as part of, because it's on the same day as the All Community Night Out. Jeez Louise, I cannot speak today. Because it's on the same night as the Community Night Out. And with our budget being due, or have to be passed by this board in September, I wanted to make sure that the library board had an opportunity to kind of provide some feedback, some guidance on, for me, as I work with village staff to craft our 2027 request. As part of that, there are a couple of attachments, which include the library operating expenses, January through June, where we are right now. Again, looking at that, just want to really mention that there are some things, such as the music in the groves are a good example. You see on the bills list here later that are not reflected on that. So it's not a truly like up to date of everything where we are, what's happening, but it's pretty close in there. But the other one I really want to kind of call out is the budget to actual one, because that provides a little bit of guidance of what the budget is and kind of our requests. So within kind of the budget, we have a few different kind of sub-buckets we usually focus on, including DEI, as well as like youth programming, and then other things along those lines. Already, as I kind of indicated in my memo, a couple items in talking to village staff that we want to kind of move forward is, again, for transparency's sake, and for better tracking, is a clear way to display grants and donations received by the library board. A good example of one of those is the All Community Read with the Friends in there. So creating an expense line to better kind of track all of that, so that it's easy to say, like, hey, this is coming in and is paid for by a grant or donation. It's that expense versus our operating expenses in there. So again, that's still kind of part of that transparency element in there. And also there are some donations that have specific requests that that money be used for as well. So again, it's just a way to better track and display all of those things in there. So with that, do you all have any thoughts about our budget? Last year, we requested the same budgets that we had in the previous year as well. And the other thing I forgot to mention, but I will also state this is, as Monica has kind of alluded to, and we've had discussions throughout the library board, is we are kind of on track with our budget. We're looking at future events programming in there that we have. It might seem like we have quite a bit of money yet to spend, even though we're halfway through the year, but we have that all accounted for and planned between kind of supplies, building them up, some of the stuff she needs for her monthly programming, as well as getting us the opportunity to do some of the larger events that we typically do here in the fall as well. Sorry, that was a very long introduction.
I mean, I think overall, it seems like we are, based on our goals and our mission as the library board, it doesn't seem like for the coming budget or the coming fiscal year that we would have any reason to ask for more funding. If there's some issue with, like if there's a automatic like cost of living increase in terms of Monica's salary or any of those type of human resource type issues, that's a different matter. But I don't think we've talked about anything significant coming in 27 that we would need to drastically change our budget request. So I would assume that since we're doing a good job of spending the money that we've been allocated, we would want to continue to ask for the same amount.
Saw a few head nods here in the room. Sorry, Allie, I feel like I interrupted you there. Okay, that will be my direction moving forward. So again, I will work with village staff to make the necessary adjustments in there, and hope to have that draft for you for our September meeting. Because again, that aligns with the budget cycle moving forward. Programming. Okay. Moving on, next item is communications and miscellaneous business, specifically consider approval of the vouchers which are attached to the agenda, item 8A.
I move to approve the vouchers.
Second?
All right, motion by Ally, second by Megan. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay. My report. For correspondence updates, continue to have some conversations with community members and specifically Dane County Library Services. So I haven't been able to connect with the individual there to talk about the Dropbox at this time. Still working out dates here soon due to vacation time off. It's been summer's been fun. We'll just say that. So I hope to have. I know I keep saying that like last time. But like I hope to have an update for you in the next meeting. But considering it's 2 months out, I feel pretty confident I can have an update in there for you. One of the things that we'll be looking to do as part of that conversation as well, again for transparency's sake for the public, is connect with Dane County, kind of give an update on what the number of residents who are using library services as part of the kind of the system in there, and then kind of using that as an explainer, more so for the public is aware of how that impacts the portion of the Dane County tax. Because for those who aren't aware, because we don't have a library within our village, the municipality, if our residents use any of the Dane County Library Services in the southwest or south central, I should know it off the top of my head, but the larger system that we are a part of, we do have to pay for those services, and that's done through a tax that shows up as part of the Dane County portion in there. So again, that's one of those things that we haven't really been fully transparent about. It's kind of in the tax bills lumped in as part of Dane County tax, but it's one of those things that I think will be worthwhile to bring forward a little bit more. Again, and it's one of the things you're kind of see here is in the name of transparency, so folks are aware in there. So my hope is that will be pretty close to an annual update. Most likely will happen around the budget time because that is the relevant conversation in there and ties with the cycle with the village staff. Library or village board updates, I do not have any at this time that pertain to the library board. So with that, as I've said before, but I'll state again, because of Community Night Out, we voted to cancel our August meeting. And so our next meeting will be in September, on September 16th, 6 p.m. here in Village Hall. Future agenda items are the all community read as well as the tween, young adult, community read, whatever name kind of we choose in there. Any additional agenda items that y'all foresee or would like to see? And budget. Sorry, I should have also mentioned the budget is the other one. Okay, here none. Agenda item 12.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, motion by Megan, second by Ally. Non-debatable. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all very much. Have a good rest of your night.
Oops.
Recording stopped.